Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Anaheim Hills, a very prosperous upper-middle-class area of Anaheim, California. Lots of nice homes up here, but for the most part, pretty cookie-cutter, pretty standard, except that one of these otherwise completely nondescript homes is hiding a secret. An amazing, epic, radical secret. All the fronts of these houses may look more or less the same, but what's behind one of them is gonna blow your mind. From the front, you would never know this place from any other house, but as soon as you start going around the side, you start noticing some unusual things. Look at this! It's a miniature Von Roll Skyway, just like the one that used to be at Disneyland. This all by itself would blow my mind. But as cool as this is, and trust me, we'll get back to this in just a second, this is only the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are fans of Disneyland, then hold on to your hats. You may want to be sitting down for this, because you're about to get a visit to the Castle Peak and Thunder Railroad. You've probably seen a backyard railroad before, but I'm willing to bet you've never seen one quite like this. Look at all of this. Look at the size of it, the scale of it. The Castle Peak and Thunder Railroad. Disneyland in a backyard. This is amazing. Think about it. How many times have you been at Disneyland and said to yourself, I would love to have this in my backyard? Personally, I've probably said that a million times. Well, unlike the rest of us slackers, the family who lives in this house took everyone's dream of having their own Disneyland and turned it into a reality. 20 years ago, professional architect Dave Shegog decided he wanted to have a little backyard railroad. Of course, being a professional architect, he first built himself a model of what he thought it should be like. Planned a basic layout for his creation. And for the past 19 years, the railroad has been growing and growing and growing until now it has reached mind-blowing, epic proportions. This place absolutely blows my mind. The backyard isn't all that much bigger from many other backyards I've been in before. As a matter of fact, I've been in plenty of backyards that are much bigger, but look what they've done with the space. At first you think, oh neat, a couple of Disneyland-looking trains running around, couple of buildings. But the longer you look, the more there is to see. First thing, obviously, is this beautiful entry courtyard in front of Main Street Station. There's so much detail here in every tiny little piece. Just this alone out here would be so impressive. The immaculate detail of it all. Look down there in the entryway tunnel. You see those tiny little attraction posters? And look at all the tiny model brickwork out here. I could spend hours just looking at the one building. But of course, there's so many others. Just look back behind the station. There's a miniature hub with Walt and Mickey back there. And of course, what Disneyland would be complete without the castle. Look at this Sleeping Beauty castle. It's like they snuck into Disneyland with a shrink ray from an evil villain, shrunk it down and stole the castle. Unbelievable. Dave was telling me that he's never really measured it, but that it's roughly 4.5 feet tall and about 5 feet wide. And I gotta tell you, I am not a professional model maker. I'm not a scientist, but to me, this looks pretty darn accurate. This is incredible. There's so much detail. I'm told there's even more detail inside that we can't see. But just for an example, all of these little spires on the castle were molded in wax, poured out in metal, and then plated with actual gold, just like the real deal. Look at it. It's incredible. Main Street Station, a tiny little hub with its own partner statue, and Sleeping Beauty Castle. What you're seeing here is nearly 2 decades in the making. And if you told me you spent 20 years just doing this, I'd be impressed. But of course, there's so much more. Look at this next to the castle. They've constructed their very own Splash Mountain, complete with a tiny little log featuring Brer Rabbit and his friends, or enemies, or frenemies. Just look at that incredible detail. The briar patch, the old mill there, there, and of course the log flume, all underneath that iconic tree on Chickapin Hill. Dude, those are live plants growing in that hand-sculpted mountain. Can you believe that? Look at the size of that thing. I'm 6 feet tall. That thing is taller than I am. That is so impressive to me. And just like in the real Disneyland, Splash Mountain's neighbor to the left is the spookiest house of them all. That's right, my grim grinning friends. They built their very own haunted mansion back here, and it is so darn detailed. This is incredible. Everything I look at here, of course, Dave is going, you know, there's a little defect there, a little damage here. Oh, we're working to rebuild this piece or that piece. But to me, each one of these little model buildings is just so impressive and mind-blowing. And the Haunted Mansion might be the best. Look at that. That is crazy. I wouldn't even expect a model kit to be this detailed. It is absolutely breathtaking what they've done here. A whole miniature world. Look at all that fine little detail work and all the railings and stuff. Just like in the real Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, these are made out of metal. Laser cut steel, to be specific. Spared no expense. I am honestly finding it hard to come up with enough words to describe this. Look at the detail. There's little names back there on those crypts. It's incredible. It's amazing. And he does all this because he's a smart guy, an architect, like I said. So he draws out blueprints and makes plans. It's the kind of thing that makes me wish I had paid a lot more attention in math. Let that be a lesson to you kids. You do good in math, you can build something like this. You dummy out, and like me, all you're gonna be able to make is a mess. Wow. I'm very grateful to be allowed to walk up here behind all this stuff. It's a rare thing. I'm really trying not to Godzilla any of the buildings back here. They're all just so incredibly detailed. All that metal work, like I was telling you, laser cut. Look at all the roof tiles. There's miniature lights everywhere that really light up at night. Again, unusual for me, but I'm finding it so hard to come up with the words to tell you how impressed I am by all of this amazing detail. I mean, I wish I could shrink myself down. It's perfect. And of course, every couple of minutes, another train rolls by, just like Disneyland. Now, it's about this time that I should reiterate, this is somebody's private home, their private backyard. You can't just come in here anytime you feel like it. But luckily, once every year, the She God family, with the help of a few good volunteers, literally opens up their doors and invites the public in to come and check it out. They've become so popular, these little open houses, that you actually have to register online, and they fill up pretty quick. So just in case I forget to mention it later, the website for this railroad, cptrr.com, that's where you'll find all the information about future open houses for next year, so keep an eye out. Absolutely incredible. All right, we gotta keep on moving like this train right here, because we don't have a lot of time left, and we've only seen one corner so far. There's still a whole lot more. Like, look at all of this. There's so many homages to so many different things all combined together. We've got Pride Rock from the Lion King over here mixed with Castle Rock from Tom Sawyer Island, you know, before the pirate makeover. And that leads over into this lagoon here, complete with some primeval world-style dinosaurs. And of course, plenty of special effects. As a matter of fact, that's one of the really impressive things out here is there's a lot of water work going on, all mixed into the scenery, added with the motion of the trains. It really makes this whole thing feel alive. Anyway, I love the way it's all a hodgepodge of the best parts of Disneyland and different Disney movies. As you can see, they really utilize the space by using that back wall there to paint murals on, that when the shadows and sunlight are a little less contrast, they actually blend together very well. It's amazing. Look back there in the woods. There's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs cottage, and just around the corner is their neighbor, Rapunzel. There's her tower back there. And during these annual open houses, one of the coolest things is they bring out all kinds of little Disney figurines. They do a scavenger hunt out here, so if your kids come, they've got plenty to look for. And believe me, this is not my first visit, and even this visit, I've been out here for several hours, and I'm still spotting new things out here. Like, for example, I'm just now noticing this tree has got a little Winnie the Pooh in it. It's a honey tree. And look behind it, another lagoon. And this one is even more impressive. massive.
Look at the size of that castle. Okay.
We can't start with the castle. We gotta start from the bottom here. Look at that.
It's Skull Rock.
Complete with Captain Hook's pirate ship. You got a little bit of Neverland going on over here.
Then we have that beautiful Storybook Land style bridge, complete with Casey Jr. rolling over it.
Look at that. It goes back and forth over that bridge all day. In the background, we have the house from Up, and then, yes, of course, all the way up this gigantic peak,
we've got the Beast's Castle.
Or Belle's Castle, depending on how you look at it.
That thing is gargantuan. There's no human near it.
And not really a good way to get close to it, so I know it's hard for you to tell, but that is much, much bigger than the Sleeping Beauty Castle over there.
And according to Dave, they've got ceiling paintings in there. There's a little crystal chandelier actually lit up in the ballroom.
I mean, the detail out here is incredible. He was telling me that actually Sleeping Beauty Castle used to be up on top of that mountain over there.
Of course, as they built more stuff and expanded more stuff, they moved it over yonder near to Main Street Station.
And the Beast Castle and Belle's little village have taken over here, giving them their own little miniature Storybook Land.
Complete with miniature plants and, like I said, Casey Jr. over here.
But unlike at Disneyland, Casey Jr. doesn't just visit the Fantasyland area, he also gets to ride through the
The castle and the Haunted Mansion over there are arguably the most impressive buildings, but to me, this
is the most impressive area. Look at the size of this.
Check this out.
You've got the big Thunder Mountain Railroad Depot, complete with train. You've got the main Disneyland trains cruising here through tunnels and around the base of huge, big Thunder-style mountains.
There's an epic trestle bridge back here with Casey Jr. rolling across.
This right here is just out of control.
So much motion, so many trains.
And I think my favorite part of all is this epic wooden trestle bridge, hand-built, mind you, over this gully. Look at that.
This is a model railroader's dream. This is a Disney fan's dream.
I've been standing out here for a long time, and it's still hard to wrap my brain around the fact that this is all real. And not only is it real,
it's all the brainchild of one guy who built this in his backyard.
All right, last but not least here, past the Old West, is an area that eventually is going to be completely redone. A miniature Jabba's Palace, Echo Base, and of course Endor Ewok Village here
will eventually be a thing of the past.
Along with Grizzly Peak out here and the former site of their monorail.
Because there are plans for possibly the most ambitious and coolest part of the Castle Peak and Thunder Railroad.
Eventually all this here is going to be replaced with their own version of Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland, Rainbow Ridge, and the Rainbow Caverns.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to give away here, but I'm told that when it's all done, we should be able to walk through the caverns
and see the rainbow goodness inside. I've always been obsessed with Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. This would be so cool if it happened.
It's one of those projects that's been pushed back a few times,
but I am very excited to see what happens here.
Dude, this Star Wars stuff is so cool. As a kid, I would have died
to have a place like this outdoors to play with my Star Wars toys. Who are we kidding?
I'd love to play with my Star Wars toys out here right now.
You know, I was gonna say that it's kind of weird to see Casey Jr. running around so close to Star Wars stuff,
but I guess with Star Wars Land coming so close to Fantasyland at Disneyland, that's actually gonna be normal now.
All right, guys, the shadows are getting long. Pretty soon the She-Gog family is going to have to say goodbye to all their guests at the open house here.
Speaking of, like I said, check out cptrr.com. That's the official website for the railroad.
Keep an eye out on it for future open house dates.
And hopefully you'll get a chance to come out here and see all this for yourselves.
Because believe me, it is a lot different looking at it with the naked eye.
Not that I would know, because of course today my eyes are not naked.
Oh my goodness, I don't believe it. I almost forgot. In addition to all those other things we've seen out there,
we skipped over one of the coolest things of all. Check this out.
It's Indiana Jones's Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
All surrounded by its own incredible rockwork,
waterfalls, canyons, and of course bamboo.
too.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
I mean, this is incredible. This is an action figures paradise.
And they're not messing around out here. A lot of this stuff is concrete, resin, fiberglass. You got laser cut steel.
All kinds of polymers and construction things I don't quite understand.
I mean, this is some serious stuff. It's not plastic. It's all hard and sort of permanent feeling.
I did, of course, ask Dave the question that has to be on everyone's mind, which is, what are you going to do if you ever have to sell this place?
I mean, after all, there are quite a few massive concrete and fiberglass mountains out here.
But of course, his answer to me was, oh, don't worry about that. We're going to die here.
So I guess that means they're never leaving it. How could you blame them if my backyard looked like this?
I'm not sure I'd ever want to leave my property again.
Some other great stuff here while we have a little bit of time at the end. Over by the guest book and check-in, they've got these cute little tickets for their railroad with all their contact info. There are all kinds of little fairy gardens with Disney characters around that I've forgotten to mention. Of course, there's that beautiful sign and entry plaque we saw at the beginning. Oh, and did I mention, by the way, that the miniature Skyway is actually built by a Von Roll. Robbie Von Roll.
What's happening?
About that. Dude, that is legit.
He is a Von Roll relative that is still building little Von Roll Skyways.
And he has done an amazing job adding this feature to Dave Shegog's miniature Magic Kingdom.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention the little Mr. Rogers-esque trolley running back and forth through the front yard.
You guys, there is a lot of creativity in this world.
But I've got to tell you, I've seen and done a lot of things. I've been to a lot of places.
And this right here has to be the most magical backyard
I have ever seen.
All right, guys, open house is over. We may get a chance to come back here sometime soon.
See it in more detail and maybe find out how some of this stuff was actually made.
But for the moment, my friends, we've done our duty.
Check out the description for links to hats and t-shirts and all kinds of crazy stuff from me, plus the CPTRR official website and how you can get your own Von Roll Skyway.
Plus a ton of other great video adventures we've had in the past, and you'll have done your duty too.
And then we can all go home and sleep well. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. I guess with Star Wars Land coming so close to Fantasyland at Disneyland, that's actually going to be normal now.
Casey Jr.'s going on the attack. Oh, yeah, Empire better watch your back, cause Casey Jr.'s a Jedi on your back.
The whole audience heard the terrible song and said, Naboo!
Alright gang, for those of you who didn't understand the layout, here's a little bonus footage. You got the whole California Adventure / Star Wars area over there that's going to become the Rainbow Caverns one day. Here is the whole Big Thunder Mountain Railroad area with trestle bridges and ravines, and of course the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad station and miniature train down there. Now next we cruise over to the left. We got Bell's Village, the huge Beast Castle up on top of the original Mountain for Sleeping Beauty Castle here, and then this big epic lagoon with Skull Rock, the honey tree, you got the trestle bridge, Storybook Land style, the up house is back there. It's amazing. And we cruise along back this way for a little Rapunzel action. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves cottage. The railroad, by the way, runs right back there. Casey Jr. and the big train up here in the front. Plenty of little characters hiding everywhere. Plenty of little hidden Mickeys for the kids. Scavenger hunts. Then we've got the kingdom of the dinosaurs, as it were. We got the whole prehistoric thing going on. There's Castle Peak from Tom Sawyer Island mixed with a little Pride Rock. Here we have a gathering of animals. Some of them got tired and laid down. And we got Merida's little roost. And of course, the main part of the Magic Kingdom. Main Street Station, Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, Sleeping Beauty Castle, and all of it is surrounded by little train tracks running into tunnels, behind bushes, under mountains, through caves. Epic-tacular. And let's not forget, of course, there's Indiana Jones's little Adventureland situation going on right there. And when you exit the property, that sick, fun, raw skyway out there. This is Justin. He runs the trains. This is Isaiah. Hello. He helped build parts of some things on the trains.
And I'm also Justin.
And it's time for me to leave because I'm hungry.
I'm leaving here to get some food.
As soon as I check out Isaiah's nice caboose. Sweet.